Republicans in Congress may drastically cut housing assistance vouchers. Advocates worry that could cause a wave of new evictions in Colorado. Here's our Angeline McCall.
Decisions in Congress could mean the difference of families staying in their homes or not.
The budget in front of us as it's moving through Congress looks to be devastating for renters in Colorado.
Sam Gilman with the Colorado Economic Defense Project says 130,000 people in Colorado rely on some form of federal rental assistance. That money could be cut by 40% in the budget proposal by Congress.
Folks are already struggling to make ends meet and to fit all of the pieces of a family budget together. And with this drawback of federal support, I think we're just fearing really meaningful and serious consequences across the state.
Eviction rates across the state hit an all-time high in 2024, with 60,000 households receiving a notice. Gilman says they're seeing those eviction numbers up 5% this year so far.
We're gonna only expect even more evictions, and unfortunately, they're likely to come fast in that world if the money for these subsidies turns off.
The budget proposes giving more control to the states, but also essentially ends Section 8 and other housing voucher programs.
Where are those families going to go when there's no more housing subsidy to support them? We're looking at really, really meaningful impacts on kids across the state of Colorado.
Decisions that we'll know in the next couple of weeks that could have impacts for far longer.
The impact of this will be really enormous.
Another part of this plan is also putting a cap on how long you can access rental assistance at 2 years, meaning this could mark a real shift from long-term assistance into more forms like emergency rental assistance, as well as shorter-term assistance with something like shelters, for instance, Kyle.
So I feel like, Angeline, we've talked about the Republican budget plan on a couple of levels and all these ideas where it's like, well, if the states want it, then the states can pay for it, whether that is health coverage, whether that is now housing assistance, whether that is food assistance. The state budgets simply are not going to be able to meet that. So in the end, those cuts are likely to happen if it just gets shifted to the states.
Yeah, it's hard to say exactly how each individual state would do something, specifically Colorado as well. But when we're talking about a 40% reduction, it's hard to imagine that states would have the money to even fill that gap, right? And then when you talk about other changes to things like SNAP, Medicaid, housing assistance, well, states are going to have really difficult decisions as to which programs to pour into.
Hard choices ahead and possibly budget reductions even at the state level coming up. Angeline McCall, thank you very much.